Hi, my name is Teegan and this video presentation is on the effect of logging and burning on small Dasyurids. Over a 5-year period in the Helidon Hills area, a total of 5 small Dasyurid species were recorded. However, 2 of these were considered outliers and excluded from this data analysis. Those that were used in this data analysis were the common dunnart, common plentigale, and the yellow-footed antechinus. Previous works done by the Brisbane City Council suggests that burning was advantageous to the common dunnart and the common plentigale, however, threatens the yellow-footed antechinus. Daniel Lunny's journal article entitled "The Long-Term Effects of Logging for Wood Chips on Small Mammal Populations" concluded that logging was species-specific. The aim was to determine the effects of logging and fire intensity for the relative abundance for the common dunnart and the common plentigale in comparison to the yellow-footed antechinus. In 2015, a total of 5 sites were used. They were Burkett, Hagadone, Valma, Ergon West and Ergon East. Valma, however, was excluded from this data analysis as it was not used consecutively between 2015 and 2010. Here you can see an example of the Valma property and how the traps were laid out. It is important to note that the trap lines were at least 50 metres apart and each trap line were 20 metres apart. The important traps were the Elliots and the pitfalls. Elliots caught mostly the yellow-footed antechinus, while the pitfalls caught mostly common dunnart and common plentigales. It is important to note that with the Elliott traps, they must be steady, as well as in the shade, and must be on a downhill slope. The pitfall traps were permanently in place, therefore only the fences had to be erected, and that the dirt was flush up against the trap, as well as that there was no leaves and rocks and that along this fence line. The amounts of variance for the small Dasyurids were not significant. Therefore, it can be concluded that logging and burn frequency do not affect relative abundance for small Dasyurids. Once again, the analysis of variance for the yellow-footed antechinus p-values were not significant. Therefore, the logging and burn frequencies do not affect the yellow-footed antechinus. However, this cannot be concluded due to the fact that there was limitations on the data because there was different sites used in the earlier years, thus only 5 years of data could be analysed. Thanks for watching.